Good morning, coming to you live from our Friday walk. I am Luna Winters Tarot. I am a psychic medium, and up ahead of me is GM, my beautiful orange dog. So, Friday, what is in the air? I'll tell you exactly what is in the air. It's the air of truth. Pluto is still Plutoing and doing its work to bring about clarity and revelation. And somebody very specific about you is having an incredibly harsh revelation right now about the people they've chosen to surround themselves with. Now, these people, whether they're karmic-y or not, they are always there for a reason. And the reason your person is entwined with these karmic-y people is because they still had karma to deal with. They still had a karmic debt to settle. And at the point that they met you, this debt wasn't yet settled. And that's why things went awry. So, I'm always that person that says for everything a reason. And absolutely, yes, there was a reason. Now, I said early this week on my Instagram channel at Luna Winters Tarot that you came together at the point you did so that your divine counterpart could experience unconditional love in its rawest form. They'd never experienced a love like yours, and they won't experience a love like yours again, because your love is unique, but it's a unique love that is purely for your divine counterpart. Now, because your divine counterpart wasn't willing to step up to the plate at that point, and they chose to fumble the union, they were flung back into this dark karmic cycle. On one level, consciously, they chose it, but energetically, they were drawn to it because the divine was saying, okay, you don't want to step up to the plate right now? Let's send you back to where you started, because then you can realise exactly what you've had the privilege of experiencing with your divine counterpart. And it is a privilege to be with you. You are an absolute divine empress. And anyone who gets to spend time in your company and to benefit from your energy is privileged indeed. So when the divine sees somebody treating that privilege like it's worthless and like it's nothing, and they're breadcrumbing it and mistreating it, then yeah, they are going to be sent back to reap what they've sown. And believe me, they are reaping. And they sowed far too many seeds for their own good. Your divine counterpart, they thought they were playing a clever game. They thought behind the scenes that they were getting away with it all. But intuitively, you knew exactly what they were doing. And the whole time, you were handing them the rope. Because whilst you got hurt, and monumentally so, you are not so foolish as to not protect yourself energetically on some level. And you were already doing that, consciously or unconsciously. You were protecting yourself because you knew what was about to come. And whilst you may have felt ill prepared in that moment, trust and understand that as your life has gone on and you've been elevated, you weren't unprepared. You were shocked, certainly. Taken aback, absolutely. Carpet whipped out from under your feet, no doubt. But there's no way that you got back up and carried on regardless the way you have done and got your life to an even better elevation by being ill prepared. Energetically, you had been preparing for that moment your entire existence, because everything about a divine union is written. It is all in the Akashic records. So on a soul level, you absolutely knew the journey this was about to take and the direction that it was going in. Now, I won't be at all surprised if there's one or two of you in the comments who says, oh, I already knew we were going to go into separation, and I actually told them. I know in my connection, I did just that. I said, we're going to split up for this amount of time because of that person. And I know that my divine counterpart looked at me and they were like, yeah, whatever. But I was right. A lot of other things that I told my divine counterpart, I know energetically, on an intuitive level, have come to pass. And I know that they'll be sitting there scratching their head thinking, Yeah, don't know how they knew, but they did. Well, I knew, because energetically we are the same soul. So what is occurring now? Well, Pluto is doing you a major favour, because Pluto is bringing about these revelations, these epiphanies, these existential crises of, oh my God, what have I done? What am I doing with my life? Why am I continuing to be in this situation? And your person, they are stuck in situations that haven't served them for decades, literally decades. But as I've said, they had to be able to experience you and be flung back into that in order they could see the truth. Now, I do feel there's a strong family unit and a friendship group, and all of these are dysfunctional. They just exist on a really baseless level. I feel the family unit is dysfunctional on the level they're all over reliant on each other. They all know everything about each other's lives. They're all over involved with each other, and they just gossip. This family unit just sits around and gossips endlessly all day long. And I see your person now is just sick and tired of the noise. There's just this clattering that goes on around them 24 hours a day, da, 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 and they just cannot bear it anymore. There's no intelligence, rhyme or reason to this conversation that goes on around them, and it's reminding them of what conversation with you was like, how it was intelligent, it was enlightening. I feel the pair of you shared really philosophical talks at, like 3 a.m. You'd be sat in bed. One of you would wake up and go, oh my God, I've got to tell you this. Your person is really missing that right now. What they're also missing is your humour, your intelligence, that wild, carefree, childish outlook on life you have. That part of you that actually they almost destroyed. Because in their presence with them unascended and them unenlightened, they were dimming your light. And they see that now. They see how their unhealed self affected you, and how day by day towards the end, you were becoming a shadow. You were just going within and closing down more and more and protecting yourself. And they see that now. And they see why your rage was so rageful and vengeful and sudden, and how your words that you spoke after this union collapsed, you spoke those words from a place of, yes, anger, but also it was very controlled. It was like a controlled explosion, because each of your words was designed to cut and to leave an opening where your person would receive the light after you were gone, because that's where their awakening has come in. So whilst they left you with 10 swords in your bag, you effectively also did exactly the same, but you probably don't realise that. But the difference is your 10 swords were swords of awakening, whereas the 10 swords they left in you were there to cause harm. But the harm they caused only made you stronger. But again, for everything a reason. It was all designed to happen that way. Now, your person, when they were with you, because they were listening to stupid people, they didn't see your strength. And if they did, they just chose to be blind to it. So now they have watched on from far, far away, because I know you have put major distance between you and them. And they watch and they see you growing stronger and stronger, and your light is blinding. But your light is also this beacon, and it is guiding them. So as they're entering into this revelation phase of, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? It is your beacon that acts as this lighthouse, and it's showing them the direction they need to go. And that direction eventually will call them back home to you, but in good time, because right now they've got to heal. They've got to go through the shock phase, the resolution phase, and then the phase where they come back to you and go, damn, I was an absolute twat. And you get to go, yeah, you were. But by that time, by the time they come back around, you have free will to decide. Now, yes, it may be written that you two are meant to come into union in this lifetime, but that union doesn't have to be at your detriment. And this person has already proved once that it has been to your detriment. So what I feel here is there's going to be a conversation. Excuse me sounding bunged up, the hay fever's so bad. There's going to be a conversation where you're going to be able to get to say, no amount of words that leave your mouth are ever going to heal the damage that you left. Because this person now is going to have to show you through solid physical actions that their words have meaning, that their words have depth, and that their words this time around hold absolute truth. Because I do feel that your divine counterpart, whilst they were with you, they were demanding loyalty. And I use the word demand because they were. They were authoritative. It was their way or no way. I demand that you're loyal to me. Yet the whole time they were being disloyal and dishonourable. So it's down to them now. It's down to them to pick up that sword of truth, like Arthur pulling Excalibur out of the stone and coming to you with that sword, speaking their truth, being their truth, and then living their absolute truth. Because I'll tell you now, I already know that this person will never veer off that path again. They are cutting off heads left, right and centre, because these people they've trusted have proven to be the most untrustworthy people they've ever encountered. And yet somehow they allowed themselves to be fooled into believing these were the people they were meant to be with. But I'll say it one last time, for everything a reason, and that reason was your person had to go away and learn the hard way, and they had, and they are going to come back to you a new model, rebuilt, remade, because believe me when I say right now they are broken, absolutely shattered and broken. If you think you became a shadow of your former self, they're less than a shadow. Their light currently is fully extinguished.